obviously, I wanted to start with Tiger basketball because the University of Memphis men's basketball program played his fourth game of the season last night. Did it out in San Francisco inside the Chase Center. The opponent was the USF Dons, and they actually closed as slight favorites in this non-league matchup. It's a classic case of wrong team favored. Final score 68, San Francisco 64. Dane Danger, he got 18.7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. He did it all off the bench. Musa Cisse blocked 4 shots. P.J. Haggerty scored in double figures for the 4th straight game. And now Memphis going to take a 4-0 record into the Maui Invitational, where they're going to open on Monday against the back-to-back national champs, Dan Hurley's UConn Huskies. Big Bennett, how fired up are you for what we're going to be doing on Monday afternoon?
I am very fired up because the fact that they got that win last night. First off, that was a great win last night. That team that they played, that's a good team they played, dude. It was just a good basketball game. And so I was really thrilled with last night, and they were able to battle through some controversy in that game. Like San Francisco, dude, I think that team's got a chance to be an NCAA tournament team. I mean, they look really good, and they took it to the Tigers. So good on them getting that win last night. And yeah, man, it just the fact that they were able to win that and get to 4-0, it just feels like a free swing at UConn on Monday. Like if you lose, whatever, it's not going to hurt you probably at all come into the season. And if you win, then we're talking about some really exciting things, I think.
Yeah, I would hesitate to agree it was a great game because, neither team got to 70. Neither team shot it too well. But it was a great win. I'll agree with you there, Bennett. To go on the road, and I know it wasn't a true road environment because they played this at the Chase Center, which was mostly empty.
That was a mistake.
Well, it was a mistake maybe by USF, but
yes.
Intention by Memphis. And it's also one of those deals where Memphis says, hey, we'll come play you in your hometown. And they say, oh, that's awesome. We would love that. And they say, but we're not going to do it on your campus. And they say, oh, man, but come on, let's do it on the campus. And you say, no, we're not going to do it on the campus. We'll do it at the Chase Center. And they say, oh, no, we'd rather do it at the campus where we'll actually have a real home environment. And they say, no, we're not going to do it on campus. But if you want to do it at the Chase Center, we'll do it at the Chase Center. And then if you're San Francisco, you say, well, geez, I don't want to do it at the Chase Center. I'd rather do it on campus. But having Memphis come play us in San Francisco is better than not having Memphis come play us in San Francisco. We can't get another brand like Memphis to come play us in San Francisco, so I guess we'll do it. That's how that works.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it was extremely empty, and like you said, I think that favored Memphis quite a bit.
No question. And Penny acknowledged that after the game, said it was a blessing that they didn't have to go on campus and were instead able to play that game inside the Chase Center. If you watched it again, it wasn't pretty. Tigers went down 8-0 to start the game, and then it took them nearly 4 minutes to get their first field goal. They were down 9 points, 31-22. That was the halftime score. The second half was a totally different deal. Memphis opened the second half on a 10-0 run. They outscored San Francisco 46-33 in the final 20 minutes, end up winning the game by 4. Again, it wasn't pretty. They only shot 36.5% from the field. They had 15 turnovers, only 8 assists, only 1 starter scored in double figures. But still, despite all that, the Tigers did beat a top 55 KenPom team on the road to remain undefeated. So that's good stuff. I don't really care how you got there as long as you got there. And it does, like you mentioned, change everything heading into the Maui Invitational. If you lose to San Francisco, you just feel, as a Memphis fan, I think, let down, and like the champs are probably about to stomp you on national TV. But now you're 4-0, you're up to 33rd at KenPom, and ready to take a puncher's chance at what is the best program in the sport right now. Bennett, what do you suspect the UConn-Memphis point spread is going to be? We don't have it yet, but KenPom does have a projected score. What do you think that looks like?
Okay, so they've scored in the 90s 3 times already this season, and 81 in their last blowout win over East Texas. They haven't played anybody. I'm gonna say that I bet it's within 10. I'll say UConn -8.
It's right now at KenPom, UConn -6.
Okay.
Final score projected by that algorithm, UConn 77, Memphis 71. So we keep talking about this, like, hey, just go take a puncher's chance at the double champs and see what happens. But it's not even really just like a puncher's chance. Like, 6-point underdogs and underdogs that are underdogs by more than 6 points. That's not if somebody's a 6-point underdog and win the game outright, that's not the craziest thing you've ever seen. So this is a real opportunity for Memphis to launch itself onto the national radar. Like you mentioned accurately, Bennett, UConn has looked good in moments this season, I guess, but it's hard to know what the Huskies are because they haven't played anybody. Like, they're 4-0, but here's the opponents. Sacred Heart, which is ranked 323rd at KenPom. New Hampshire, which is ranked 355th at KenPom. Lemoyne, which is ranked 340th at KenPom. And Texas A&M Commerce, which is ranked 350th at KenPom. Obviously, Dan Hurley is awesome and can run his program however he wants. But if I were a UConn season ticket holder, and I've made this point before, I'd be upset with this. Like, the Huskies only have 16 games at home this season, and 5 of them are against teams ranked 320th or lower at KenPom. And
that probably ain't a cheap ticket.
No. So, like, you only get 16 games, and 5 of them are against teams, again, 320th or lower at KenPom, which just creates games where the Huskies are favored by 30-plus points. Like Tuesday night, this past Tuesday night, UConn won by 35 while playing comically bad, according to Dan Hurley. So, like, if you're a UConn season ticket holder, are you excited about buying tickets full price to a game where your team can play comically bad and still win by 35? Like, if you're a UConn season ticket holder, 31% of your tickets, the tickets that you're buying for this season, what you're getting for your money is nothing more than total mismatches where your team can be, quote, comically bad, according to the coach, and still win by 35 points. At some point, fans are going to get tired of doing that. Either way, that's not the point. The point is that UConn is a very different team than last season's team. This season's team has played nobody, and so it's actually hard to know what Memphis is going to be up against on Monday. I think at this point we know more about Penny Hardaway's team, this version of it, than we know about Dan Hurley's team, this version of it. My assumption, if it's not clear, let me be clear. My assumption is that UConn is once again really good. They have a great coach. They have a talented roster, and great coaches with talented rosters tend to have really good teams. So I assume UConn is going to be really good, if not great, but we haven't seen it yet. So if you're Penny Hardaway, I think you just remind your team that Tristan Newton, Donovan Clingan, Stephon Castle, Cam Spencer, they're all in the NBA now. Yes, Dan Hurley is excellent, and he's still there. Alex Caravan is really good. He's still there. But this UConn team is otherwise a vastly different team. So if I'm Penny Hardaway, you just put your players in those Memphis State jerseys. You tell them to play with something close to nothing to lose, and you go out there and try to launch yourself onto the national radar by upsetting the back-to-back champs.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.